Crochet, a Canadian crochet podcast. I'm your hostess, Claudia. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, like I said, my name is Claudia. I herald from the base of the Rocky Mountains in southern Alberta, Canada, and I love to crochet. You may notice, if you're a regular viewer, that my digs are quite a bit different than what you're used to, and that's because I am back actually where this podcast started, in my basement, and I've tried to tidy a few things up, which you will see later on in the episode. But if you like these kind of videos, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and you can hit the bell to get notified when I upload my videos. I like to upload episodes of Crochet on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Let's get started. Okay, today we are going to start with finished items because I have a big one that I'm so happy that I finished, and you're probably going to know why and which one it is. Ta-da! I got my cardigan finished. The granny square cardigan. It is lovely in real life. Hopefully this will focus and show you. There are a few doggy hairs in here that I have noticed since I've washed it, but it is washed. The ends are all put in. It has been lint rolled, although I saw one hair, so I'm gonna have to do it again. And it has been listed for sale in my shop. I finally got it done. I got all of those things done. So thank you so much, Grace, for your suggestion to get it done, because I was able to exceed my own expectations. I got it finished in 2 days instead of 3 days. So thank you for the suggestion of just like powering through it and getting it done and challenging myself, because that 100% worked. And it's because of you, this is finished. It is a super fun, just hot pink, off-white, in this fun blue color. 100% acrylic, machine wash, and I always recommend everything is hang dry because it extends the life of your garments. But isn't it fun? This is the inside, so yeah. You can tell it's the inside because there'll be a few little funny bits like that in there. Again, hoping this focuses. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this worked out. So you can see that this one is a short one. So the boho cardigan that I actually have, it's at my job because I tend to get cold there, even though my office is like a fishbowl. I love it, but there's other cold places in the building. So I have that one, and that one actually goes down to my knees, whereas this one is more to hit, like it's below my bottom, because this is meant for someone who's quite a bit taller than I am. So it will hit sort of mid-hip, mid-back, which that's nice if you don't want to sit on it or like really feel like you have a ton of fabric on you. So it is great for that. I say so a lot. I apologize. There. So yes, done. So happy. Put that there. One thing to show you, but still that one thing was my Everest, so I'm really glad that I got it finished. So on to what I am working on this Wednesday. Last week I was showing you that I was working on a bag, so I completed the front flap of it, and it's super cute and I really like it. And I made a few modifications to the bottom that I added double crochet instead of just single crochet, just to make the flap a little flappier. So I really like how that turned out. It's really pretty, it's fun, it's not as heavy as I thought it was going to be, so that's good. So I finished that, but I'm not finished the entire project, so this doesn't count as finished items. And then I've started on my next panel. So I was saying that I was going to follow the similar guideline to how I made this, not used it. So what I did here is I started the exact same way, and then in the row that there's the bobble stitches here, which this is a traditional bobble stitch on there, I did a double crochet instead. So you can see it is flat, which is what I want. What I am going to do with this now is I'll make it, I think, one row bigger than this. I think we'll see kind of when the time comes, because I'm half using a pattern. Actually, I'm not even using a pattern at this point. I was using a pattern somewhat for this, and then I extrapolated and went further than the pattern called for, and then I'm just making this part up along as I go. And I'm going to make sure that I don't finish it off completely like I did with this one, because I am happy with the size of this. So it is, I haven't woven the ends or anything, but I've cut my tail off and everything like that. But with this, I am not going to do that. I will just leave it so like you can see how that, if you can see. Get my face out of there. I'll leave it like that and then put a stitch marker in there to just hold it, and I'll leave a long tail. And I mean, I still have tons of this yarn left, so I am in no danger of running out. Like it feels like I've barely used any yarn whatsoever. I put the stitch marker here because I need to keep track of how many stitches up to this point. It has to be a certain amount, and kind of like up to that point I have a little bit of wiggle room, so that's why I have the stitch marker, which I don't usually use a stitch marker. I usually wing it. Like, as you guys know, I wing just about everything, but I'm trying to be, because all of these things need to be even, I really need to make sure that I am following along with the same number of stitches and everything as I'm going on. It looks a little bit slanty right now, but that's because I think I've just started the double crochet row, and it just sort of makes it look like it's lean. It's like italicized. Okay. It'll come out in the wash. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, so that is going well. So I will need to finish this one, which I'm about half-ish done. If I look, where's the bottom here? I'm just going to measure it up on my lap here and be super scientific, because that's how I roll. Very scientific. Is that the middle? No, this is the middle. I should have done this before I came on camera. I apologize. You can probably see the stuff on my lap. Yeah, I would say, so there's this flap, so you can see probably like a half width done, but maybe a little bit less than half, but it's super close. So yeah, so I'll finish this, make another one of these, and then I will get onto the fun part of the strap and the loops and all of that stuff. So that is coming along really, really well. This is Bernat Handicrafter cotton yarn, which again, I forgot to look up the dye lot and all of that stuff for this, or the color at any rate. Sorry, it's very fluffy down here. I just tidied up. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute. But now, like, all the hair is fluffed up. So now I'm sorry I keep touching my nose. Like, my nose is both cold and it has fluff in it. So I apologize for that. Anyway, I will leave what this color is called in the description box below, because I don't know it off the top of my head. But again, it's really, really pretty. And it gives me such, like, lovely boho vibes, and I think it's going to work out really nicely, so I'm glad for that. And for this, I am using a 5mm hook. I hope this all focuses. So these heads are different than the ones that I usually like to use. I hope that focused. I bought these hooks at Walmart. This is a bamboo one, and it has some kind of lacquer on it because it's very, very smooth. It's not just straight wood, but I don't know. It's weird that I like these because the throat isn't really deep and the notch isn't really deep, but I still like to use them. I like how lightweight they feel in my hands, and I think because they're a natural product, they have like a very natural amount of give to them, if this is making any sense, but they just feel really good in my hands. So I'm really happy with how these are working with the cotton yarn. So if you're a new crocheter and you want to try something with cotton, don't shy away from these. These are not snaggy. I have had great luck with them. I like them. They're good. They work for me. They're worth trying. These hooks are very inexpensive, and I believe you can compost them. I'd have to check what they're lacquered with, but don't hold me to that. But I think the next thing that I am working on is, and I've lost my hook for it, which is not good. It's one thing I wish I could like use a stitch marker to hold the stitch as well as the hook. Okay, what am I making? Do you remember this ball? I remember this ball with love and hate. This is the Walk Like a Man. It's a perfect pair sock yarn from Michaels that is, I forget what it is made of. I have made several things with this, gotten about 3/4 of the way, and then pulled it all out because it wasn't working at that point. So I have decided to make a poncho with it. I wanted a summertime poncho, and this is coming along very nicely. So this is the back. I made this one the way that I made my daughter's poncho. Can you see it better that side or this side? I'm used to holding it this way, actually. Or am I? I'm trying to think of when I'm upstairs. I don't know, I just hold it whichever way seems right at the time. Anywho, not important. So I have put where you switch back to go to the next row, instead of having that going like this, like my big poncho, my big blue poncho, I have made it down the center in the corner here. So what I do for these is on the approach, I will do 3 double crochets, and it's ever so slightly off kilter, but from a distance you can't really tell, so it's been working for me. So I make 3 double crochets, and then I chain 2, and then in the first stitch of the previous row, I slip stitch the 2 chains to the top of that, and then chain 2, make 3, and then continue going on, instead of a traditional granny square corner like this one, where you do three double crochet, 2 chains. That's what I do, 2 chains in the corner, and then 3 more, making 6 in total of the row previously. Like 6 double crochets is what I mean. So that is a traditional granny square corner. This one is not, but if you do it this way, then you keep the seam going straight down the back instead of, like I've called it in the past, the wandering seam, where you would go, it would start going this way, and then it would be like off to the side. And because this is a color changing yarn like this, given that it's a sock yarn, it's self-striping, I think, technically, because you're supposed to be able to knit with this, and then it just like does its own thing. Anyway, getting off track. Yeah, because it's self-striping, I'm just going to call it that for ease of reference, I suppose, on my behalf. I don't want to have like weird bands of color like starting and stopping off to the side. I wanted everything down the center here, because I like, in my daughter's one, I explained, I really like for ponchos how it draws your eye down. And given that this palette is a lot more colors than my blue one, where in blue one I can hardly tell where I changed the colors on it, honestly. So sometimes I do technically wear it backwards, but I can't even tell. But this one you would definitely be able to tell, because I feel like you can really see the difference between this is the back and this is the front. So it's just slightly more uniform here. I am using a size 4mm hook, and yeah, I picked it up and I put it somewhere, and for the life of me I cannot remember where I put it. It is one of those, it's one of the Walmart ones with the rubbery handle. It's pink and it's metal and it's shaped like the boy hooks. Did I put it in the drawer? I was right, it was on the floor. And forgive me, this is my big complaint about these, is they always look dirty, and I swear I wash my hands, I am clean, but they're always just blech, always filthy. This one I've also worn quite a lot. There's where I keep my thumb right here, as I've actually worn the rubber down on it, so this will need to be replaced at some point. Oh yeah, I'm not replacing it with this. It just looks so filthy. Oh, my apologies. It's not a 4mm hook. This is a 3.5. I'm trying to rub some of the crust off of there so I can show you. It's not even crust. It's just like yucky. Anyway, hopefully this all works out. But yeah, this hook head is like the boy style head, which is it's not my favorite, but it's doable. It works. It glides really nicely on this yarn because it's metal, and it's going along just fine. So I have no complaints for how this is working along, but a 3.5mm hook for this yarn. I believe that's what it called for. It could have been a 3 if I was actually making socks. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but I like the way that the fabric is working up with the size of hook. And lastly, of course, because I always have so many things on the go, bringing out the basket so you know it's something big. Okay, this is the duvet cover. I frogged the whole thing. And you're like, of course you did, because that's what I do. Because I decided, after watching the puppy absolutely destroy much of my blankets, I didn't want to have a duvet cover that was going to look so ratty and gross right off the bat. So I'm still using the 6.5mm hook from Susan Bates. My duckies are very noisy. Oh, sorry, was I showing you the right side? I'm showing you it upside down. 6.5, Susan Bates, hopefully that's right side up. Yeah. And then hook head, it's like this. So you can see this, it's the pointy one. It's got really good depth in it and everything. This is the one. These are the ones that I really like. So using that still, and I am using the Bernat, it's all Bernat wavelength in, I want to say it's called Amber. Yep, Amber. And I don't have the label for this one, but I remember this is Bernat Premium. Got it from Walmart. This is Botany Teal. It's very pretty in real life. It's one of those ones that's kind of hard to photograph, and the color never looks right when I look at it on the like replay that it does in real life. But I promise it's a jewel tone, and it's very richly hued, and that's what drew me to it. Is I typically don't go for stuff that's quite this dark, but it's really lovely. So that's the one. And then I also have a few. I feel like a 10,000, but that's hyperbole, obviously. Bernat Premium Color Aran. I like these because it's wash and wear, goes pretty well. It's all good. So I left you at station 0 with this, so I've gotten this far. I've decided to make an old school, what is it called? Chevron quilt quilt blanket. It's a blanket. So I've got my chevron started. Well, this is upside down. I was like, shoot, that doesn't look right. It's upside down, my bad. Goes this way. And you're like, hey, what does it matter? But I'll tell you. So I have been doing 2 rows of the Aran color, 1 row Botany Teal, 2 rows Aran, 1 row Amber, 2 rows, and back again. So one set is from here to here. So that's 2 white, 1 blue, 2 white, 1 yellow, 2 white, 1 blue. So that will be repeating throughout the whole thing. And then when I finish that, on the tips of the points here, I'm going to be putting some tassels, because I do like tassels, and it helps hold it at the end of the bed a little bit better, I find. And then also, when I finish this, I am not sure, I haven't decided yet. So I'm not sure if I'm going to fold it over like this, and I also want to put tassels on this side, I think. It's gonna depend how this all turns out when I finish. But I'm envisioning, we'll just say I'm envisioning this, that I want to put it, flip it over like this and have the tassels to hang it down like this. But I'm actually going to take probably two needles, and I'm going to do, I want to say it's a mattress stitch, but don't hold me to that. But it's like, it's where, it would be like how a sewing machine works, where the needle picks up the thread from the previous. And I would be doing this with 2 needles actually. So I would take probably triple the width of this, and then split it in half and put the 2 needles on. It's going to be a pain. I know that already off the top of my head. But then stitch it through and put the 2 needles through the same hole like this, and then you would pull tight, and then you move to the next one, and you keep doing that. So it goes like this essentially, but yeah, they meet and cross, and then the bottom becomes the top, and then that's not exactly like a sewing machine. A sewing machine, the top stitches the top and the bottom stitches the bottom, but it would look similar to how a uniformly joined, just regular straight stitch on a sewing machine would look. I think that's what I'm envisioning. I'm planning. It might not work. I don't know. It's not something I have ever tried before. And also I might just like the old school pointiness of it, and I might just leave it. I don't know. But I hate saying we needed a blanket, but in a way we do, in a way we don't. I'd like to have different kinds of blankets around the house, and this one is like maybe for the couch or something, or for our bed, but I just like this. I like how it's turning out. And I didn't want to use as much yellow in here as the blue, because I'm finding it difficult to find balls of the wavelength. So there's two or 3 in my basket that are rolled up, and then I have another one up in storage, which you'll see. And that is that. I think that's all. That's all I'm working on for right now. What have I got plans to work on? I don't have plans to work on anything actually that's coming up. I keep seeing yarn, I'm like, oh, what can I make? But I really feel like I'm getting to a place crochet wise where burnt out is not the right word. What am I trying to say? Where I think I need to expand my skill set in a different way to make some different things, because I can really only make so many shirts, and I don't want to make any more shirts or blankets. But I mean, I have enough stuff to keep me busy for several months, so I'm not that concerned about that. I think kind of deep in the recesses of my mind, there were some leg warmers that I wanted to make with some of the sock yarn that I got, because it will feel nice. That's all I can think of for that. But really, I've got enough stuff that it's going to keep me busy for a while. And then also, I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but I have that I'm working on as well, which was another boho cardigan. But I might actually frog that and make something else, because I really, really like the yarn. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, let me know in the comments what you think. Should I frog this and make something else, or should I go purchase another ball? I can't remember if I even talked to you about what I was making with this now that I'm sitting here thinking about it. This has been kind of, I quickly made this up, and then I just folded it up and put it away. So yeah, I got started with this. I'm using the V-stitch. It's absolutely stunning. There's cat hair on it. And yeah, it's definitely like, I have this much ball left, and I need a good twice as much to make this. Because if we were to fold this in half, this is a scarf. This is nobody's cardigan. I would need it. For this one in particular, I want it longer than the other one, so it would be a wide style instead of a narrow style, and have sleeves, because people seem to really like sleeves on these. I'm not sure why, but they do. But let me know if you think I should just go get another ball of this. This is the Karen Skinny Cakes in Raspberry Ganache. So I would need a second one if I was to continue. If you guys have any ideas that you think would go better with this yarn, please let me know in the comments below. As you know, I am not afraid of frogging things. I have frogged entire blankets and then remade them. So that doesn't bother me. I really don't feel like it's a waste of time because I always end up with something that I like in the end. So there's that. All right, I really don't have much to update you with today. Unfortunately, very, very boring over here, I guess. It snowed today, last night, like crazy, so it's freezing. So if you think you don't need a boho cardigan, you do, because it's still cold out. Just saying, go grab it before somebody else does. And yeah, that's really it. There's nothing that I can really report on today. Everything is still pretty status quo. I don't know. I am a fan of no news is good news. I've been trying to do some running training lately, so of course I overdid it because I feel like I always do everything like so much, and then I have to like pull back because I hurt myself or whatever. But that's what happens. So I have shin splints right now, and I haven't been able to run for about 10 days because, and I keep checking them. But I also don't want to end up with stress fractures. So I think tomorrow, as long as it clears up ever so slightly, I might be able to go for a run outside. But failing that, I'm definitely going to go for a very fast-paced walk on my treadmill that I have. It's right here. You can't see it. I just have to set it up because I've got some thrifting things that I have to donate underneath it because it's been nice out, so I don't use it that often. But yeah, that's like the big thing. To close out today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I have some footage of me cleaning up what was the disaster, and now I have re-disastered it. Stuff on my desk. So we're going to have a clean with me crochet desk / office edition. So I'll get that queued up for you, and I hope you enjoy it. So hopefully you enjoyed looking at the squalor that is my desk, or was my desk, and now it's put away. And also hopefully you appreciate how much yarn I have. I know it's not as much as some people, but it feels like a lot for me. But at least now it's put away, it's tidy, and I definitely have a better understanding of what I've got. I've got tons of scrap things, so let me know in the comments, what do you like to make with scraps? It's varying sizes, colors, weights, just anything. Let me know what you think would be cool, and I'll see if I can make it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you stay happy, stay healthy, and follow your vagabond hearts. Bye!